I have no clue.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Lonnie and Ryan podcast. We're very excited today to have a special guest on the show, Popeye's Postcards. John, how you doing, John?
Good. I am special. I will say that I
You
am
are.
special. Yeah.
Well, you were telling us before we went live that you were kind of a big deal. So.
I am kind of a big deal. We can talk about that in whenever you want. I mean, I'm an open book. I know you guys are pretty free flowing in this conversation. But first, I got to ask: are the 3D printers too loud? I got a little teeny mini print farm over here.
No,
I don't hear a thing. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know you were into 3D printing.
Yeah, just kind of got into it. One of your podcasts, you said about finding a need, and I found a need and I replaced it, or I fixed it, if you want to call it that. But we can talk about that whenever. But can I start off with first? Thank you very much for inviting me.
Absolutely, man.
You know, I used to watch Lonnie a long time ago when you were in your basement, pretty much. Like I sold this, and then you would cut away and I don't watch a whole bunch of YouTube reseller content, but I tuned in probably, I don't know, a couple months ago to yours, and I was like, holy crap, Lonnie lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, damn, he's got a young college girl there as an assistant. And here it's Candace. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys look incredible. I just got to say that. That's just,
thank you.
You guys, amazing. I need to do that, but I'm afraid I'm one of these people that if I lose weight, they're going to be like, you look better fat. Because
you don't know that though.
No, I know that. No, I've done the weight loss thing before. And I just find now the older I get, add a couple more pounds and it stretches out the wrinkles. And
yeah, man. I've been knowing of Popeye's Postcards for. You commented on one of my videos. It must have been the first time I heard about you. It must have been like 7-8 years ago, something like that.
I bought these from you.
From me. How long ago was that, John?
Wow. I started YouTube. This is my second channel. I nuked my first one.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I can. How long should
tell us about that? No, about an hour, but I want to hear about that. Nuking channels is always good, interesting, you know.
Yeah, I started in I think 2016. There was they did YouTube more than a podcast, no visual. It was just them talking. It was something trash elves, scavenger life.
Oh yeah, I used to listen to them.
Love them. And they had a website. So I'd go in there and I'd start talking on their forum, and it's Jay and Ryan. They were like, wow, you're selling postcards. And at the time I had, I don't know, 15,000 postcards or something like that listed. And I was just, talking to them about postcards, and like, I want to interview you. And so I did the interview with him. It was one of the first ones I did, or the first one I did. And after that, I started getting so many questions about postcards. I was like, you know what? Instead of typing all these eBay messages, let me start a channel. So I started a channel. It was in the summer or fall of 2016. And it was Popeye's Postcards also. And that's when I would contact you and, John, Cincinnati Picker. I would contact everybody back then. I sent John some postcards of the Cincinnati Reds old stadium and some postcards just so I could get my name out there and build it up a little bit.
Sure.
And sometime in 2000, it was right at when the pandemic started, like September 2000. 2020. I come and go on YouTube, and I think I was gone for like 9 months, which I do that all the time. And so I was like, well, you know what, let me get back into YouTube. And I was like, what else can I do with YouTube and, monetization and stuff like that? It's like, well, you know what? I'm going to do PopeyesPostcards.com. And I'm going to, I don't know, do training or do something. I'm just going to do something with PopeyesPostcards.com. So I go to register PopeyesPostcards.com, and it's taken.
course.
Someone took it like just a couple months before I went and did it. And to make matters worse is they watched my content.
So they're
And
cyber squatting you basically.
well,
Is that what
but
you think?
they're a postcard seller also. So they took my business model and selling postcards, and he
Where did the
had
link go?
right to his postcard store. So if you go to
Yep.
popeyespostcards.com, it went to his eBay store.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it was ballsy. So I contacted him. I was like, you know, this is pretty piss poor.
Yeah.
In fact, it kind of sucks. And
Wow.
he was like, well, you don't know what you're doing. I'm doing it better, but I'll sell it to you
What?
for like $1,000. He wanted to sell it to me.
Whoa.
And
What
I
a
was like,
POS, man. Wow.
exactly. The job I had, I know who he is. I know where he lives. I know everything about him because of the job I used to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I just hold that information out. I haven't done anything, but so I was like, you know what? Keep it.
Right.
I'm gonna make it useless. And so I nuked the channel. My last video, it's like
Wow.
it's on my channel. I mean I nuked. I had 220 some videos, couple thousand subscribers, and I just delete all. And it all went poof. I was able to find maybe 50 old videos, and one of them was my very last where I call this guy out.
Wow.
And so, yeah, pretty much he hurt my feelings. So I got my
Well,
feelings
yeah.
hurt.
I'm
And
assuming when you did that, it felt really good, right? Were you like, yeah, I got him? Or were you like how did you feel there? Were you happy? Were you
pissed?
like,
Now I'm like, what are you doing?
right? Okay.
I was diagnosed. I'm going to be all over the place. I was diagnosed with ADHD at age 55, and it explains so much about my life.
Mm-hmm.
It was a knee-jerk reaction. I didn't think. I didn't plan it
Rash
through.
decision.
It
Yep.
was, it was just delete. It was mostly it was like, go to hell, dude. Do whatever you want. And I just because social media is just evil, and I consider YouTube part of that as evil
Sure, it
also.
is. Well, it's not quite as bad as like Facebook and stuff, but
Right.
it can be bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was gone for year and a half off of YouTube, didn't do any content, just was selling my postcards and wasn't even really watching anything. And then I was watching a guy who he was doing packing in the morning videos, name's Jackass Retro.
Yeah. I know him. Yeah.
And he got into postcards because I was selling postcards and saw how good I was doing. And one morning I was just lurk. And one morning he was talking about Popeye. And I just said, "Hey, how you doing?" Something just like, and he was like, "Oh my God, Popeye, you're back."
He didn't know you were there.
He
He
didn't
didn't
know.
even know you were there, but you
No.
happened to be there. Well, that must have blown his mind.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I don't think he does content anymore. But
okay.
So yeah, I started the second channel again, Popeye's Postcards, and I'll disappear for a year. I won't put content for a year, and then I'll come back, and because I don't know, I'm not good at it. And this last time I started, it was just I woke up in the mornings like, oh, I'm gonna start YouTube back up again. And it was like September, and so I just do these like daily morning as I'm pulling my postcards and just talking, just rambling.
Well, that's got to be kind of a tough. Like, let's be honest. That's a tough niche. I find it fascinating. I do, and I think a lot of other resellers would too. But man, that's probably a pretty small community, right?
Yeah, pretty small. When I started, let me see. I did a 24-part guy. I appeared on someone else's channel, Jason Smith. He does like a paid subscription thing, and he brought me on, and I did it was supposed to be like a 1-hour show, and I did it was a 2-parter, hour and a half each. And I put together this PowerPoint, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make that into a guide. And part of that guide is when I first did it in 2017, there were 3-point-some million postcards on eBay.
Okay.
And now there's over 25 million.
Whoa.
And so from 2017 to now, from 3 million to 25 million postcards.
Are sales following that same trend, or is it like are sales on eBay 8 times higher or 7 times higher or whatever?
It's hit or miss. With me, I have 46,000 postcards in my main store, and there's still days I might sell 2 cards for $16. Yes. Oh yeah, it can be bad, but then there's other days that I'm doing $300-400 days or $1,000 days if I hit a really great postcard and have auctions running.
So I do want to back up a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit, but before we do that, I want to ask you, what is the status of that website?
Oh, it's still it's you for 300. You can have it for $300. So since 2000, for the last 5 or 6 years, I don't know what websites cost to hold.
Not much,
but he's holding on to it, which he can have it. I'm
It's
not going to do anything with it.
it sucks
Right.
because it's valuable to one person on Earth,
Yeah.
you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Yeah. But now I don't even want it, type of thing. I mean, if he dropped it and like a year later, if I just happen to go by and it's available, I might do it. But I did Popeye's postcards.net, which is not as bad, not as good, but I never put anything on it.
I had a similar situation with Shed Flips. Not the same thing though, but I just tried to register it, and somebody was sitting on it, and it had like a for sale page for like, a couple grand or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh well, screw it,
Yep.
And then one time I checked, and it was available, publicly available, and I snatched that sucker up. So don't give up, man. Don't give up.
He had it for 3,000 at one time.
And only one person on this planet would want the site, and that is you.
Yeah.
Trying to extort you for $3,000.
He's not I won't say anything else, but
there's nothing. Yeah.
So how many postcards do you have currently listed on eBay?
Actual number, I have 46,000. That's single listings of postcards on my main store. But with that, it's probably, with multi-quantity, it's a couple 100,000, I believe, because I bought a couple years ago. That's another story. I did videos on it. I bought 1 million airplane postcards. Flew out to Milwaukee, rented a Penske truck, hired a crew to load them, and I drove them back from Milwaukee to Maryland, where I live. So back behind me, you probably see right there, shelving unit. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6, 7 full, with another 5 waiting to put postcards in. So those boxes behind me, those are the airplane postcards, and one box may only have 3 postcards in it, but there's 400 copies of each. And I list it once, and that postcard's listed forever.
What did a buy like that, if you don't mind talking about it, what did a buy like that cost you all in?
The postcards themselves were $10,000, so a penny a card.
Penny a card. That's what I was going to guess. Okay.
The airplane trip was free. I had airplane miles, but I will tell you that it's my little video. I may have taken a little something to maybe help me relax for the trip, and I had had a car service come and get me, and I had booked the car to drop me off at the wrong airport.
Oh no!
Because where I live, I can go to Baltimore, Reagan National, which is in DC, and then Dulles. Well, I was supposed to fly out of Dulles, but I had the car take me to Reagan National in DC, and I didn't realize it until I got to look at the board, and I'm looking for my flight. I had first class tickets,
Oh no!
and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, there's no flight. There's no direct flight to Milwaukee. And so I look at my phone, and it was cut off. That's why I didn't see it. And I was like, oh my God, I was supposed to go to IAD and not DCA. And it was just, Yeah. So I went up to the counter. I was like, panicking,
Oh,
and I went up to the
I guess.
counter. I was like, I need to get to Milwaukee. Not Milwaukee. Is that right? Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah. And so they were able to get me through there through Chicago and then to Milwaukee. I said, I got to get there at
Okay.
least by tonight. But I sat on the flight, and the lady sat down beside me, and I was like, I'm not supposed to be on this flight. And she's like, what do you mean? And I told her, and then there was a delay. We sat on the tarmac for like a half hour, 45 minutes, because there was an issue with the plane.
Oh
I
no.
think I freaked this lady out because
Like a bad omen.
she's furiously
Not
typing
supposed to
on her.
be here.
Yeah.
Just want to let you know.
So, but then the rental truck, I mean, the hired the crew. They were like, that was like $600 or $800. It's like a 4-man crew, and yeah, 4-man crew, $200. I gave them each like a $40 tip. Then the Penske truck was, I don't know, that was a couple thousand one-way trip from Milwaukee to Maryland.
How big of a truck was this? Like how
It was
how
the
big
big
was
one,
this?
the
How big was this? Yeah.
26 foot or whatever is the biggest you can rent
Whoa.
without getting like a CDL. It was like the
CDL.
26 footer.
And you filled it pretty much?
Pretty much like one layer, but this stuff's heavy.
Right.
It was,
Oh, so it's more about the weight than the space.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was.
So we're talking how heavy was it? Like it was tons of postcards?
Probably a pound of postcards, which is about 120. 120 postcards per pound ish.
Oh, well,
so
whoa,
yeah, I can't math.
What's the math on that?
It was.
I'm gonna do it. I'll do it real quick.
Okay.
It was a couple pounds.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And so you were able to fit them all in like just the one trip?
Yep. All in one trip, and then the gas or the diesel, whatever the other stuff.
It's over 4 tons. It's over 4 tons of postcards.
Yeah. So it was a lot. And then it took me 3 days to unload the truck, and that's in my little video too. Yeah, and I'm through about 600,000 of them. So I still have.
What does that mean? Listing?
I've listed about 600,000. Like I said, that might be about 5,000 aviation cards, because again, there's 1,000 of one type of thing.
So you paid 10. How long ago was this again, John?
2021, January 2021.
Do you have any idea how many you sold?
No, I made my money back all, and so when I say that how much it cost all in, it was like a penny and a half each. It was like 1.4 something cents per card when you do hotel and the food and all that stuff.
Right.
But I made it back within that first year.
Right.
Made all my money back, and that's so for the last 4, 5, however long it's been. I sell, I don't know, $6,000 to $8,000 worth of airplane cards a year, something like that. And photos. Wow. There were photos with it, 8x10 photos, which I still sell because I can scan them.
Do you do this by yourself?
I am a one-man band. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Once in a while, my daughter will help me scan postcards or list them once in a while, but it's been years. My wife may organize them, sort them, by state or topic or something like that, because that's how I do things. It's easier to, when I'm list 50 California cards and then 50 Christmas cards, and just so it helps me when they're sorted. But I'm a one-man band. Do it all.
So obviously you sell a lot on eBay, but you've also told me that you sell on Whatnot as well.
Yeah.
How does that work? I'm not really too familiar with Whatnot and like what sells on there. But is there a lot of postcard sellers on Whatnot, or are you kind of like part of the market on that?
There are now. I signed up for Whatnot. It was April of 2022. So I'm just coming up on 4 years on the platform. My first show was May 1st of 2022. Dom, he told me, prime time. I was on his show a long time ago also.
Okay.
But he had a show all about Whatnot. I was like, man, that's pretty cool, because I was going to do YouTube auctions. And
Right.
I didn't want to hunt people down. I was like, I need a way to get rid of these, because at the time I had 1.5 million postcards in the house. And I was like, I need to get rid of some of these. So I signed up for Whatnot. I was the very first postcard seller. We had to do onboarding, and you had the video onboarding, and then you go around telling me what you sell. And I was like,
were you on YouTube at this point that you're talking about? This point in time, were you on YouTube or not? I'm just wondering if you had a following at all, or if you just went started from ground zero or what.
2020. No, I was back on, because I came back on in 2021.
Okay.
Like the end of 2021, I think that's when it was. About a year and a half, or maybe late, very early. No, because I was on YouTube, because I went live from the airplane deal to that Jackass Retro. So yeah, I was on live. So I had a following, which helped. Which helps.
How did that go out of the gate? Did a lot of people come over and start buying from you, or did it take time to kind of build up?
My very first show, I did about $2,500.
Wow.
What?
And my first month, I did 18,000 on Whatnot. On what?
So were you selling individual cards, or were you selling bulk lot kind of stuff?
Yeah, I started off pretty much curated lots. Like, here are 20 kitty cat postcards. Here's 40 Santa postcards. So I started doing curated lots. And that first year, from May 1st of 2022 to May 1st, 2023, I did 147,000 selling bulk postcards.
Whoa.
On eBay. So yeah, or on Whatnot. So I was the first postcard seller, and I used to do a Tuesday show, because I looked at Whatnot. Whatnot put this thing out as like, they said, don't sell on Tuesdays. Tuesdays are our lowest volume days.
Yep.
So I'm like, you know what? Tuesday's gonna be, I'm selling postcards from 8 o'clock until whenever, couple hour show. But I also did Saturday shows. And yeah, now Tuesdays are just jam-packed with sellers.
So your first year, you did $147,000 in postcards.
Yeah, from May 1st of 2022 to May 1st of 2023, I did 147,000.
I'm blown away.
In that first year, were you pretty much the only postcard seller the entire year, or were there other people that came in that year, or were you pretty much controlling the market that whole year? Is what I'm kind of asking.
No, not really. But I was the only one. But I was the only one selling like bulk
lots,
and that's what I was. That's what I've been known for. Is if you need bulk lots, go see Popeye. I just did a show Saturday. It was about 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I sold 50 1-pound lots, so 50 pounds of postcards.
6,000 cards. Is that right?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
I did the Popeye math real quick.
That's quicker than my math. But so I think I did just under 1,500 for 2 hours and 20 minutes. 1,500. So about $500 an hour when I'm on you. Keep on calling it's Whatnot when I'm on Whatnot. But that's how I get rid of stuff.
That's how you get rid of stuff. What are you talking about? That's how you get rich. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I know.
Whatnot's got to be has Whatnot basically become your like main platform at this point?
It did. I am back into eBay now.
So really?
Yeah.
Something happened. What happened?
Well, I was like, kind of, believe it or not, I want to sell good stuff, and I was getting to the point where I'd blown through all my back stock that I wanted to sell on there. I still have 50 or 60,000 cherry picked cards that need to go to eBay. And those are the cards that I think could be, it could be a sleeper. I just sold a card a week or two ago for $600. So I could have that type of stuff in these cherry picked boxes. So the stuff I sell on Whatnot is the stuff I've already processed, and I pull out what I think may be a $15 to $20 card, and anything below that goes in bulk to.
Okay, so I
know it's a lot of numbers and a lot of.
It's amazing though. I have a question. When you source, are you sourcing just like give me everything, or are you kind of like, do you kind of know what you're buying? Like, how does that work? And then just like later on when you're going through it, you're like, oh wow, look at this $600 card I have. I didn't realize I had it.
Yeah,
Like,
two ways I source. I'll either go to buy them at auctions,
okay.
or I'll go to postcard shows. I'll go to postcard shows, and sometimes they're 2-day shows, and I'll spend those 2 days looking through the dealers' boxes, and that's where I'm cherry picking out what those dealers don't know sell well for on eBay. So I'll cherry pick those out, maybe a couple $100 worth. But then at the end of the show, I'll be like, any boxes you don't want to take home.
Yep.
And build up those relationships with those dealers. I used to vend at shows, and I found that I made more money going to the other dealers, buying what they don't know to sell on eBay, than what I was actually selling from my own stock on eBay. So I stopped vending. I just go and cherry pick, because no one was doing that. Well, that's what, when I started the YouTube channel, that's what I was telling people, is you can make a lot of money by flipping postcards. And no one that I know of was going to postcard shows and cherry picking the dealers and then flipping them on eBay. So, but yeah, I'll go at the end of the show. I went to the Lancaster, PA show a couple weekends ago, and I built up a relationship with this vendor. And so I emailed him beforehand. I was like, any boxes you don't want to take home? He says, I have 55 boxes, which is about 40. They were packed. And these boxes, when you pack these boxes, you can pack 1,000 into them. They were probably about 900 cards per box. I bought 55 of them, so around 40-some thousand postcards. Wow. I'm still processing those cards.
I'm trying to process the numbers you're talking. I can't process it.
Yeah,
million, 147,000, 1,000.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I almost need to do a disclaimer that, you know, people are going to hear my numbers and they're going to be like, I'm going to go all in on postcards. And that's what that happens. And people are like, oh, I'm giving away all my clothes that I source from Goodwill, and I'm going to go all in on postcards. And then 2 months later, they're like, yeah, I'm not selling postcards. Do you
like,
want to buy
Popeye,
these?
you want to buy them?
Yeah. No, I go, no, selling postcards is stupid. Don't, no.
Sucker.
Yeah, no. So out of those 44,000, I'll pick out like maybe 10,000 that I think are, you know, $15 to $20 cards, or at least I'm going to list for $15 cards. So that's right there. There's 10,000. That's $150,000 worth of listed value. Now they're all not going to sell, and they're all not $15 cards, but they're listed. And those 34,000 cards that I don't think are that I don't want to list. Those are what I had 7 boxes is what I went through for my Saturday Whatnot show. So 7 boxes, yeah, about 6,000 cards, and that brought in $1,500. And I bought them all for about a nickel each, so that the 55 boxes was just under $2,000.
Wow.
You know what I'm hearing here? Tell me if I got this right. You love postcards, and you must love like the history and like a lot of the subject matters, because to me, what I'm hearing is a man that told me he sold on his first year on Whatnot $150,000 worth of postcards. I don't see how you still want to sell individual postcards on eBay or anywhere else, given that, because if it was just about making the money, it seems like your time would be best spent on Whatnot. Based on what you've said so far, unless I'm missing something.
Oh, I love both platforms, but with Whatnot, it's a show. I mean, you could watch a Whatnot show that I did, because I have them streamed from Whatnot to YouTube, so they're under my live section. But it's a 2.5-hour show, and I'm a one man. I don't have anybody to play off of. So, like in this type of setting, I truthfully, I could keep you guys on for 4 hours talking, because I got a great dead milkman story. You know, I do have a great milk.
He's another old guy like me, Ryan. So he knows what I'm talking about.
I'm 50. I'll be 58 this year. So yeah.
Okay. I'm 52. I'm not too far behind you, John.
Yeah, you're Gen X. You understand. But so anyway, yeah, I do like the history. And it's more of the treasure hunt, and it's the
Right.
finding,
Mm.
you know that when you guys go to yard sales, like, ooh, you zoom
Mhm.
in and it's like they're selling it for $1. I know that's $50 or something like that.
Yep.
Postcard games got to be different though, because I imagine like you don't. Do you actually? I imagine a lot of the postcards you list have never been sold before, right? Like a lot of them, I would imagine.
Yeah, a lot of them. You got to find those ones because there were billions and billions of postcards made, and
Mhm.
there could be. I mean, like Niagara Falls, there's probably half a billion or a billion of like Niagara Falls.
Mm.
Your touristy trap places,
Right.
Mount Vernon, big cities, uh, oh yeah, Niagara Falls. Everybody went to Niagara Falls. They had to buy a postcard, and they're just not worth much. But if you get the small town where someone grew up, and it's a real photo postcard. I actually have samples. See if I can,
I got.
I don't know how
I have.
well it'll show up, but that's
No, yeah.
someone that's a real photo postcard from
Mm,
this town somewhere in Missouri from
1850 something or something.
19 teens or something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
So
Wow.
that view hasn't been seen. And what happened would be there, like a photographer would show up in their wagon, and they would go about town taking pictures of the
Mm,
church, of the street views, of the town hall or something like that, and they'd go back to their little wagon, and
ah,
they would process them, and turn them into postcards, and then you go back to the general store and they're like, hey, I got 50 postcards of the main street, I got 50 postcards of the church, five a nickel for all of it or something like that,
so
and
that's
then
we're talking short run.
exactly. Short
Whoa.
prints, just like in the ball card world, sports card, short print. So you
But
got to look for some of those.
is this
Uh,
worth anything?
Grass Valley, I may actually have something like that. Grass Valley, it could be. It's probably a 1940s, maybe 1950s. Is it a lithograph print?
I don't know. Here's the back if
Yeah,
that helps.
it's a lithograph print.
I've got a whole
Um,
stack of them now. I've got quantity.
yeah, I see. For me, I would list that for probably 14.95, and I have a quantity of 8 or 10, and I would not
Mhm.
touch that card again. And then maybe send offers for $10, and it might sell. Or I have cards up here listed 15 years ago that no one's ever looked at, but tomorrow someone might come by and it's like, man, I really want that postcard, and I have it listed. So it's still, yeah, it's some of them are horrible, really
It's funny.
bad background.
While we were talking, I just went to your eBay store and I searched my town. I'm not going to say it, but I searched my
Okay.
town to see if you had my town, and you don't. But I was going to buy. If
Oh.
you did, I was going to buy
Hmm.
it.
And
How do you
yeah,
how do you ship the individual cards? Do you use eBay standard envelope, or do you just use your own first class, or what? What do you do?
I do. It's eBay standard envelope. I just use these
Oh, okay.
4.5 by 6.5 mailers. Think the thickness of
Mhm.
a cereal box. Two pieces of
Yeah,
cereal box. That's for under $20, and then over $20, I use the eBay,
the thick ones.
the thick ones, and they get
But
a
those don't
top
go
loader.
eBay standard envelope though. The thick ones. I've had
Mm,
trouble with them in the past,
yeah,
anyways.
people say you can send them eBay standard envelope, but I don't. I don't. I don't just these little thin ones are good enough. So
So you
Okay.
said you sold a card for $600 recently. What was that one?
yeah, it was from about 19 teens, maybe a little earlier. It was of the kind of like uh it's not the king of the country, but it was from the Ottoman Empire, and the
Mm.
Ottoman Empire put this guy in charge of Egypt back in, I don't know, 1908, something like that. Abbas, Abbass the second, something like that.
Hmm.
And I I don't remember where I got it, but it probably came in a lot of postcards and maybe cost me a quarter. I always just say it cost me a quarter, but it
Right.
could have
Yeah.
cost me a penny or 5 cents.
It doesn't matter at that point, right?
Right.
Like,
No,
who
it
cares?
doesn't. No. So I was in the kick to put all these cherry picked postcards at auction for $21.95 just to get them listed.
Mm-hmm.
And this one got immediate watchers, immediate bidders. In that first 3 or 4 days, it was up to, $200-300. And then, that last couple minutes of the auction, it went for $610. And I was a little bit worried because 5 out of the 6 bidders were from Egypt.
Oh,
I don't ship to Egypt, but through eBay I ship to. They say
right.
we'll take care of it if you don't ship to that country. But the winning bidder was from the United States, and they paid immediately, so it was nice. $610 on an auction.
Is that the highest
That's the
price
highest
you've ever gotten?
Yeah, but I've also had cards. They were like the pre-opening Disneyland cards.
Wow.
They're 4x6 continental size. They're real photos, but they have the Disney characters, and they're all in France, all in Paris. So they have like Goofy flying around the Eiffel Tower, but he's hand painted or colorized.
Mm-hmm.
And I was selling those for like $300 to $350 each, and I had a guy come in and buy like 5 or 6 of them. So a couple $1,000 order. So I've had $1,000 orders before, but the single postcards, that is 610 was my biggest one. Yeah, I know, but I'm telling you, in selling individual postcards is not for everybody. It really isn't. I can't stress that enough.
I guess you would say that, Mr. $1 million postcard seller guy.
Yeah. But if what I was always trying to get through to people, because people, I heard, those are stupid little pieces of paper, they're not worth anything. And when I was like contacting you and contacting, the other YouTubers back then, all I really was trying to get across is, if you see them at a yard sale and they're only a couple bucks, pick them up. You don't have to sell them all singly.
I have.
Yeah.
I have.
Well, I did look at your one lot of 293 postcards that you got, that you did buy it now for $40. I probably would have put 80 to 100 on that.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at some of the pictures. I'm thinking, that's a $15 card. That might be a $25 card. Yeah, I'm looking at those, and they're not going to sell. But you know what? If you're happy for $40, you made a postcard flipper extremely happy to get
good.
that.
I'm happy. I'm happy to do that, but I'm also extremely. I've been thinking about this interview for a while because, man, I'm extremely interested in I was talking to Candace about it today when we were packing orders, and I was like, man, it's so cool because if you like doing it, I don't know if I could do what you do, but if you do, then it turns the reselling into because, man, I might pack a bat followed up by pack some perfume, and then I'll pack a sweater, and then I'll pack a book and everything. And I'm always right. But you can hone in, and you can your processes are probably just locked down, rock solid, very efficient.
Yeah.
And
see, I started out selling everything but postcards. I started on eBay January of '98, and I did it to sell my Popeye collectibles.
What is up with the Popeye thing, anyways? Can we get? I meant to ask that early on.
Yeah, I guess we never did introduction because I just go right into it.
That's all right.
I like it. It's better that way. Anyways.
Right out of high school, I joined the Navy. Did 3 years in the Navy, aircraft carrier, and out of Japan. Came back, went to school, joined a fraternity my first semester. It's pretty much I was a 21-year-old freshman, and they just said, "Hey, you're Popeye." Because Animal House. Yeah, Animal House. You're Bluto or whatever. So they called me Popeye, and then I got a tattoo, and then when I was a Popeye tattoo, and then when I started getting on eBay, I was like, well, I need to come up. Well, actually, AOL. I still have an AOL account. And I was going to do Popeye on there, and that was taken. So I did Spinach Eater, and Popeye is Spinach Eater. But anyway, then eBay came along. I was like, well, I want to, use that AOL account. And that's how Popeye came
It
about.
works. It works
Yeah.
because it's alliteration, right? It's pa pa pa. Popeye's postcards.
Yeah.
So you got the 3 P's, and it kind of works.
Yeah.
So look, let me ask you. Can I
Yeah,
get you to?
You ask me anything. Yep.
Are these worth anything? These QSL cards? I've got a stack of them.
QSL cards, that's in the ham radio world. Ham radio or the CB world. That's how someone says, we talked on the radio last night. I acknowledge your, actually, those might be, yeah, I'm wondering if some of those are CB and some of those are ham radio. I can't remember the distinction. Okay. Yes and no. If you get ones, the older the better. And
they're from the 50s mostly. Mine. Oh, look at this one. This one's kind of cool.
That's probably right there is a good one. I don't know if that's a real photo. If you look at a postcard under a magnifying glass and you see little printing dots, it's not a real photo. It's hard to tell. But if you just grab a magnifying glass, and you might be able to tell if there's no dots or no squiggles, it's a real photo postcard. But it kind of looks like a printed litho. But it's showing a guy with all of his equipment. That would do well because it's a mascot. Cartoons, mascots, the people, if they're from foreign countries from like the 30s, 40s, they can do well. Wow. I belong to a very small little group on Discord. There's only like 6 of us, and we talk all the time. Postcards. And there's a couple in there that are buying QSL cards. They buy them for, nickel or a quarter, less than a quarter each, but they're listing them each for about $15, and they are selling. Some people are selling for $5. Some people are selling them for, $15. The most expensive one I sold was probably about $20 or $30, and it was, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was from the 30s, and it was like the first transmission of like from a school, like a college had like a ham radio club, and that was that one. And then I had one where like it was a real photo of it. I think it might have been the very early 30s, a guy with his equipment, and those are $20-$30.
You know what's amazing to me is like, okay, you sell one type of item, but then I show you, like, we did not talk about this beforehand. I show you a stack of these QSL cards, and then you go on and on and on about information about this one specific subgenre.
It's pretty cool.
Of like I imagine your knowledge that you have about like pretty much freaking everything.
Yeah,
must be like tremendous.
Yeah, I do very well at Jeopardy questions now because of because of geography and history and stuff like that. I do pretty well.
Education by postcard.
Exactly. Because everything that has ever existed, that has ever been thought about, has appeared on a postcard.
Put that on a postcard.
Put it on a postcard. Yeah, everything. And yeah, there are subsets to the postcards. Some of the coolest ones. Like I said, I brought props. We can talk about anything and everything. I did bring some props.
What you got?
These are called Hold the Light.
Whoa.
Those are called Hold the Light postcards. It was just in a printing process.
That is very cool.
This is from 1900 Paris Exposition. When I've seen Hold the Light all the time when I was processing the cards. This card had been picked through, or the box this came from had been picked through, and I go through and I was like, oh wait, there's something different, because you can fill all those little holes that you saw. Those are cutouts on the front.
Are there ever any Braille postcards?
I'm sure there are. Like
you never encountered one though?
No, I've encountered one.
I stumped him, Ryan. I stumped him.
No,
you got him.
No, I think there has to be. I just may never have seen one, and I can't remember. I've processed millions and millions and millions of postcards, and I've sold 100,000+ probably. I don't remember every postcard, but I can remember. Somewhere in my pea brain, I file it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to keep an eye out for that for the future. And
so what? What does your day look like when you're like, when you sit down, you're like, okay, I'm going to list a bunch of postcards. Like how many, like on average, can you list in a day? And how, like, what is that process like? Do you scan them? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. First thing I do is I sort them.
Yep.
Over here you can't see it, but I have their shoe cubbies, the little, I don't know, this is like 5x5 and you could put 25 pair of shoes. So it's almost like a mail sorting center. And I have, I think I have about 75, 80 slots over here, because I got several of them, Alabama through Wyoming. And I just grab a stack of postcards, Alabama, Maryland, Wyoming, and then down here's topics: Christmas, Thanksgiving, Indian, or Asian countries, island, whatever.
This is the cost right here. The cost ain't that penny or 5 cents or whatever.
Yep.
This is the cost.
Yes, but it is, and I say this all the time, is if you find something you love, you never work a day. And this is 100% it, because I can do this for 15 to 17 hours a day, wake up and do the exact same thing all over again and love it. So yeah, sorting sucks, because it can take an hour to get through a box. And but if I have 500 California cards, that if I've pulled it out, cherry picked it, thinking that this is a really good card, I have to research it when I list it. So when I research a card, it may take, I can list, do the title, because I use a program called 6-bit. All I have to do is change the title and change the pictures, as long as I got the categories right. I don't mess around with item specifics. With research, I can do about 40 cards an hour. But if I don't care about, like, for me, Maine, New England, I think you're from New England, but no offense, but New England cards, I hate listing them, because just to me, they don't sell well. That's just me. It's nothing against those kinds. It's a beautiful country up there. Just for me, on postcards, they don't sell well. So if I get, I can do 100 an hour if all I'm doing is changing the title and changing the picture.
Wow.
With no research.
So is this, how much is this a full-time gig for you? Like, do you spend full-time hours on it every week on this?
Double. Yeah. And I don't need this money. When I retired from the government, I was a federal probation officer.
Okay.
When I retired from that, I got to retire at age 51 with a pension. And that pension covers all my bills, covers my mortgage, covers my truck, covers everything.
Good for you, man.
Have little wiggle room, but my daughter went to college out of state at $50,000 pop a year.
Ouch.
So this pays for that. Hey, let's go to Disney. Okay, this pays for Disney.
Awesome.
So yeah, this pays for a lot. I went to an S corp, because I was making way too much money. Taxes were killing me, so I went to an S corp, and also because part of my pension, I can't make over. It's like Social Security; you can't make over X. So I pay myself a salary
out. Okay,
yeah, but I love it.
I have a question then. Why aren't you using AI? You haven't mentioned AI once. This seems like really, really well suited to AI to me, especially when it comes to sorting.
I'm dabbling. I'm not.
Okay.
I have AI's good. It's not great. It is okay for postcards. My whole problem, again, when I started, there were 3 million postcards. I was selling everything for really great money. Now there's 25 million postcards. You have those race to the bottom people.
Yeah.
They're using AI.
Right.
They also, with the postcard community, I'm selling, I think, probably to a lot of older people. The postcard, I don't get returns. I usually don't get complaints, except, where's my postcard? It's, it doesn't take 3 days to get across. I can't get a letter to my next door neighbor in 3 days. It's going to take 3 weeks to get from here to California.
I can just imagine like a conveyor belt with like a camera on it, feeding this sorting thing, and
Uh-huh.
then it's reading this, and then it's automatically slotting this stuff
Yeah.
for you by state or by
Mm.
genre
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah, it is. And I've dabbled. That's my second store. I'm just dabbling. I don't talk about it on my YouTube channel because I'm not ready to yet, because I do
Mhm.
have I have a great problem with the race to the bottom people, the people who are using AI just to put crap up, and the pictures are wonky or
Mhm.
backwards. They don't clean their scanner, and now there's lines all over the postcards. The AI cannot tell a real photo postcard from a
Right.
sepia. So if you're not going through each one and like, well, no, that one's wrong, or it puts that fluffy step back in time to it, and it's like putting this fluffy stuff.
Right.
And so
Yep.
there's problems with it. But yes, my dabbling with it is, yeah, I don't have to sort. And 80% of the time it does really well with like foreign cards. It
Mhm.
cuts down
Yeah.
on that research. But, it's just again, the people who are just racing they don't know postcards, and they're just throwing it onto eBay. And if you're listing a car and it says a real photo, and a buyer gets it and
And
it's
it's
not a
not.
real photo, that's really degrading the trust in postcard sellers
Mhm.
on eBay. And I'm one of them.
Interesting.
I've been there since '98 selling postcards, and so yes, I can, but I'm also, again, it's if you don't beat them, join them type of thing. So
Right.
I
You
am
could
dabbling.
you could probably incorporate it in some areas that would not, and of course you would always have the final like review.
Right.
It could like maybe pre-sort it and then you check it out and then you or
Yeah.
whatever, right? Like I'm sure you
Yeah.
could find some spots where it's still where
Hmm.
nobody can even tell you're using it.
Yeah.
That's the best use of AI, I
Yeah.
think, is when someone can't tell you're using AI.
Yeah, and I've always wanted. My problem has always been I can't list quick enough, and I've always said, I have 50 to 60,000 postcards just waiting to sit. They're sitting and waiting to go on eBay, and that's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of
Mhm.
dollars just sitting there in a box. And it's because me typing out, doing the research to make sure that if it's a $200 postcard, making sure I'm not listing it for $4.99 or something
Mm.
like that. So, but yeah, so yeah, AI and me, we'll get there.
Right.
Uh, sometimes I'll use Chat GPT to like help me with a title, and I had to train Chat GPT to do it. And there were times that I would get in an argument, just a full blown argument with Chat, because like, I'd upload a postcard, and it's like, it's a picture of a street view, and then it would spit out, oh, this is Buffalo Bill Cody and his Wild West show. And I'm like, no, it's not. How'd you even get there? And I typed in, why are you so effed up? And it spit out 3 or 4 pages of why I am messing, why. It was like in bullet point form.
Oh,
So, but we've gotten along so much better since then. It was like we went to counseling, and it told me why, and now I listen and understand. But yeah,
It
it
sounds so
that's
has,
the thing about AI is it can do like a lot of amazing things, but then
yeah.
on the flip side, it messes up a lot of things really badly too.
Oh, in a major way,
Yeah.
it can mess
and
it
Yeah.
then it
up.
sticks to its guns. Once it
Yeah,
messes up,
Right.
it will not back down.
yeah,
It'll believe its own lie.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so people are putting that trash on eBay, and it's just really bogging down eBay. I mean, you have to pay to play to get noticed anyway, it seems, anymore. And these people are just filling it. What do they call it? A slop? What is it? AI
Are, so
slop or
Yeah,
whatever
so
slop.
it
are
is.
they successful though when they do that? Are they successful? That's the bottom line for them. They don't care what our
Yeah,
what Popeye's opinion of it is.
I mean,
Are they making money?
if they're probably making not enough money to me. I mean,
Okay.
I look, if they're selling a car, I've seen it all the time. People have a card listed for $3. I'm like, no, that's a $40 card. And I list it for $40 and it sells. And their $3 card just sits, but it just bogs down the system.
Mm.
But yeah, I guess they're making money, but again, the postcard world is a different world, I think. There's the buyers, there's postcard shows, and none of those people are like, they may be on eBay, but they don't have like a smartphone. They still have the Cricket flip phones or whatever. And some of those people are still buying, but they don't want to deal with almost like the sports card bros type of people.
Isn't that a problem for you, for that market though? Like, are new postcard collectors being born every day? I would think not.
Yeah. I did a whole list of possible what you could ask me, and one of them is analog kids, the Gen Zs of today, or maybe the younger ones. They don't want an NFT. How'd that turn out? NFTs,
Right.
They don't want that. They want to hold something.
Yep.
And I'm seeing more and more. That's truthfully, when I first started Popeye's Postcards YouTube channel, yes, it was to educate, but it was also, I went to, my first postcard show back then, and I was, I don't know, in my 40s, and I'm like, I am the youngest person here. And so from a business aspect, I'm thinking, wow, if all the old people, they're going to be dying soon, I need to start telling people about postcards to hopefully, just kind of, I don't know, bring people in so I could keep selling my postcards. And a lot of dealers are dying off every year. I'm thinking, oh, where's this vendor? Oh, he died last year. Then I'm like, what happened to his postcards? And so, but now I'm seeing there are younger kids in their 20s showing up, and they're having a blast. You usually don't hear a lot of laughter or really talking much at a postcard show. And this one postcard show I went to, there was these two 20-somethings, and they were just having a ball. It just the room just filled with their laughter. And I was like, that's what we need. We need more of these people. And I think they're getting into it. There's a part of postcards called post crossing, and just think international pen pals. So you sign up with post crossing, and
I've heard of this before. Yeah.
Yeah. And so younger kids I'm seeing the YouTube videos and the reels of people. I just got a postcard from Japan today from whomever. So that's kind of cool. And I think that will bring younger people in. So yeah, the young kids, they want analog, they want to hold a postcard.
Do you think we're heading towards a world where like the postcard collecting scene might go like kind of mainstream? Because like, if you think back to like in COVID days, right? A lot of like weird, obscure things kind of took off in those days.
Yeah. I did well during COVID.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And I hope so, to keep it going.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Postcard worldwide, the postcard collecting hobby, which is called deltiology, is, you got numismatic is philatelic. That's always like, that always sounds dirty. Stamps. But worldwide, postcards are the number 3 most collected item.
Wow.
Because of the sheer number of postcards.
And they're relatively cheap. They really are. And you can fill any topic. When I was vending, I had a guy, I had all these I had like 50 boxes of quarter cards, 25-cent cards. And he spent 6 hours at the table looking through stuff. And I was like, can I help you find anything? And he's like, no, I have 67 topics that I collect. And it'd be like, a street view with the traffic light has to be red, or a lady with a red shoe.
So
just
it's like what do they call that when you're like when a scavenger hunt almost?
Yeah, and that's what it is. But you don't have to go out. You're just sitting in a box and you're sorting through. And it's like, some people is like, oh, I've been looking for this card forever, and it's only a quarter. But kind of gets me to a story. My buyers on eBay, I get it all the time. They tell me the story with the postcard. Some people tell me the story before they buy, and it's like, that's my mom in that postcard.
Whoa.
And I'm like, oh, that's a 20, it's $20. Like, will you sell it to me for $3 type of thing? I'm like, no, if
It
it's your
seems like you
mom,
would pay more,
Right.
not less.
you would think. And I just had one. It was a 1950s, it was like from Iran or something like that. It was a carpet seller. There's a guy at his booth and there's carpets. And this guy contacts me. I think I had it for $15. And a guy contacts me. He's like, that's my grandfather on that postcard. And it's a 50-some-year-old postcard.
Wow.
Will you take less money for it? And I'm like, I said, I just listed this an hour ago. No, this is how I make my money. This is how I support my family. And
that's insulting, man. That's insulting.
And I said, I sent him like a 10% offer. And I hadn't heard from him for a week. And he contacts me back. It's like, yeah, I'm looking for that postcard.
Here it is.
I really want it. And so I sent him like 20% off.
What?
And then like a couple of days later,
what?
He was still trying to knock me down in price. I was like, in the meantime, this 2 weeks that has gone by when you found this rare postcard with your grandfather, 50-year-old postcard,
you can be mad when it sells.
You're haggling over a price. I said, if it was me, I mean, you do you, but if it was me, I wouldn't have never have asked about it. I would have bought this thing outright. And in the meantime, yes, it did sell. It sold to someone else.
What a moron.
Yeah. So I get that all the time. Sometimes I get the story after they receive the postcard. They're like, I remember this one, it was a fire department card, and it was on the front. It was like Christmas. It's someone's house burned down on Christmas. And you can see the Christmas lights and the fire truck and house on fire. And after I shipped it out, I got a message. He's like, from this guy. He's like, that's my house. We went to Christmas service at a church and came back, and our house was on fire. So, that's kind of neat, hearing those type of stories. So
it is very cool.
Yeah. But, so yeah, I guess I like to buy big lots. I have, next week, I'm going to Pittsburgh, go see my Penguins in a playoff game, but I'm gonna piggyback that with a business trip. I'm gonna buy I think 51,000 postcards. And
wow.
Did your wife ever tell you, hey, why don't you sell the ones you got, buddy? She probably is just completely on board at this point, huh?
Oh no, when I die, they're all going to the backyard, and I told her at least lay me on top of it.
Light them on fire.
Do a fire. Yeah. I say, at least you can, I don't want a big funeral. Just do a funeral pyre in the backyard. No,
cremate me with my postcards.
Yeah. Yeah. When I die, it'll probably be because like one of these boxes are going to fall and crack me in their head. But, yeah, no, when I had all those airplane cars, they were in the garage, and they've slowly made it down here, but I had to get rid of the 210 banker boxes of dental books I had purchased and sold on eBay. So I had to get rid of those to bring the airplane cards down here. Now it's pretty much they go to the garage until I can bring them into my upstairs office, process them, pull out what I want, and then I bring them down here, and I have a table full to go to Whatnot, and then other shelving units full of cards that I have to sort for listing.
So do you only buy from other dealers and kind of like private picks at this point, or do you go out to like garage sales and estate sales and things like that? Because you're not going to get much volume in those places that would impress you at all.
No, I've gone to flea markets, and they might have a box, and I'll try to buy the whole box. If they give me an astronomical amount, then I'll just go through and cherry pick out what I want. And I've been to estate sales. Seems like everybody beats me to the postcards there. My best luck is through auctions, online auctions, or word of mouth. Every postcard I send out, I put a information card in there with my links, and I put always buying collections, old dealer stock, estates, lots, and I put my links.
What's on the front of it?
There's a Halloween artist His
Oh,
name's
wow. That's
his name
really
is
cool, actually.
Matthew
Yeah.
Kirst. He does modern Halloween cards, and I've got to know Matthew over the years, and he's done
Okay.
commission cards for me. So I said, hey, could you do a commission card for me? He does these little critters, little veggie men and his cats. And I said, can you do a custom card for me? It's Popeye being, cooked up. That's Popeye's arm.
Oh, I
Oh,
see it
yeah.
now.
There's his
Oh, yeah. Okay.
clothes, his hat, and his pipe. I was like, could you do, because this is
It's
probably
pretty dark.
this,
Yeah.
I do have that dark side. I told him, Popeye's getting eaten by his critters, and this one's called Spinach Surprise. So I had him do several commissions. He sends me the original art, and then he prints, I don't know, gives me like 30 postcards, and he'll do some one of a kind sketches on them. And I will resell those. I give them away really on Whatnot. My buyers appreciation giveaways. I give away Halloween postcards from this guy. I buy them specifically to give them away. But yeah,
I thought, didn't you just say that you include it with the order?
Well, I got permission from him to this is like from Shutterfly or one of those.
Oh, okay. You made those.
Yeah. So I got the original art, and I said, hey, Matthew, can I make this into like my thank you card?
Okay.
And so I include one of these. When I go to postcard shows, I take a big stack, and I put these at the informational table. And I also put
every postcard you send out, though, you put one of those in with it.
Yeah, every postcard, in the eBay standard envelope, because it just adds a little bit more thickness. You don't want these you still want them flexible, but it gives a little bit more thickness. And then when I send out a card in one of the bigger mailers for $25, I put in the thing I invented that is 3D printing right now.
Wait, let me see that.
So
that's cool.
It's called a card stay. So in the postcard world,
I have that problem with a lot of things like that.
Yeah. When in the postcard world, when you're sorting postcards, they always just when you have a quarter of a box, it just
always
they slide all over the place.
Yeah.
So came up with this thing. I call it the card stay because the cards stay in place and upright.
Show how it works when you put it in. Yeah.
You just it's kind of awkward to do it, but you just slap it over the sides of the box.
Look at that!
Wow.
And then your postcards don't.
A thing like that. Now,
very clever.
Wow. Okay, so where do you sell those? You sell those on like eBay and Etsy or something
on
like
Etsy.
That?
I sell them on Etsy, and I sell them sometimes on my Whatnot. I'll have them in my Whatnot store.
What do you get per thing?
You buy more, it's cheaper. If you only buy like 2 or 3, they're like $4 each. But if you buy 100 of them, they're $2 each. So.
Have you made one for comic boxes yet?
No, they actually have them for the idea. When I got it, someone had it at one of the big postcard shows. They have something similar for ball cards. Of course, the ball card boxes are only like that thick or that wide. So they had one that spanned, just enough.
Okay.
And I'm like, why don't we have something like that for the postcard box that goes from side to side? So came back, and my daughter's she's my print farm manager and my CAD designer. So I was like, this is what I want. Help me out with it. And so she printed them.
Wow.
For me. That's
very cool.
What kind of printers do you have? Yeah.
We have 3 Bamboo A1s.
That's what we have. We have A1s.
There's one back here. I bought it for my daughter as a business expense for me. She's into, K-pop music.
Yeah.
Korean pop music. She's big into K-pop music. Well, each one of the bands or groups have these.
Yeah, I've sold those before.
Okay.
They sell for pretty good money. They sell for, I think I sold them for like $40-$50 or something like that. I got them for like $1 or $2, whatever.
Yeah. So they're very, they're expensive.
Yeah.
And the kids love to decorate these.
Okay.
So, but when you decorate them, they're only good for one shot because if you put a vinyl wrap or glue on here. So my daughter and I were talking. I was like, I came up with the idea. It's like, why don't you print something that you can flip
man.
over? So I bought her a whole bunch of light sticks.
Wow.
And so she 3D prints the sleeve that goes over the light stick, and she'll either do them painted, or this is one of her
Amazing.
favorite artists.
Wow.
So she does this.
Oh wow! How much post work? How much after the print work is that involved with that? That looks pretty fancy.
She did this one for herself. This is probably about 8 hours, maybe 10, because it got pretty.
But of her actually painting and stuff.
hand setting each one of those.
Oh,
and then but she has her own Etsy shop, and she's selling them on there. So, but yeah, we bought her one printer, and about the same time as when I came up with that idea.
Wow.
And pretty much in the first week, I got like 500, an order for 500, or orders for 500 plus. So I'm doing the math, and I'm thinking, well, I can print 5 at a time at 4 hours per. I'm thinking this is going to take me months to get this. So I ended up buying 2 more A1s.
So you have 5 now?
I have 3. One that she pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, I commandeered all 3, and I was doing 24/7 pretty much. And I tried out the ludicrous mode. It works. Yeah.
Does it? Okay. Yeah, that's like a fast mode, Ryan.
Yeah, I was doing them about 2.5 hours, but I built up a stock of, I think I have about 150 of them in stock. And when I go to these postcard shows, I go up to a dealer. Like the dealers in those boxes, they'll use pool noodles, they'll use sponges. I was just at a show, and some lady was using crunched up newspaper. So I have a backpack full, and I was like, "Hey, can I give you something?"
Wow.
And I just put it right in the box and show them what it does, and they're like,
and then they might have 1,000 boxes at home, or 100 boxes at home, and then now they're going to make a big order, right?
Here's my card.
Yeah.
What's the most anybody's ever ordered from you at once, like on one order for one dealer? Like what? Like
200.
Oh,
wow.
So
and what are you getting on that order?
After fees, so $2 each. $2 each.
And how much filament are you burning per? It ain't much filament.
No,
like
each one's
10
like
cents in filament or something, or
30, because I bought a lot of filament on sale at Bamboo's sale, so maybe 30. It's like 105 of them is like 130 grams or something like that. So I can get 6 or 7 printings. 35,
about 35 per reel or whatever.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Yeah, I've sold. I think I've sold about 1,100 to 1,200 of them right now.
Man, I feel like such a loser talking to you, man. Like everything you touch is like boom.
No,
big numbers,
like crazy.
No, not really.
Really.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, John.
Very impressive.
It's really something.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, I wish I could. Yeah,
you're kind of a big deal.
I do have. I've heard that somewhere.
I know you. Yeah.
And the reason that came about is I'd go to these postcard shows, and I already had the YouTube channel, and people would just, I love, people just come up because they're all right there. I sell postcards, and people who buy postcards are at the postcard shows. People who buy postcards watch postcard content. So I go to a show, and it's like, I love your content. I'm just getting recognized everywhere. And I come home, and my wife's like, so how many people recognize you today? And I was like, about a dozen. And we would just, yeah, yeah, they're all, and I just say, I'm kind of a big deal, just jokingly. And then she got me that for Christmas. But I'm really big on my YouTube demographics or whatever. I am huge with males older than 55. That is my demographic.
Wow,
and,
of course. Right.
People like you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess I am over 55.
I imagine. I'm sure your YouTube channel is monetized.
Yeah.
But I imagine the value of your YouTube channel has nothing to do with the AdSense you've made and more to
No.
do with the connections you've made over the years, right?
That, and I do have a membership side of
Oh,
things.
you do?
Oh,
Yeah, I charge $4.99, which is relatively inexpensive, and I have a 24-part guide,
Mm.
everything you'd want to know about Postcard. Not everything, but a lot. It's pretty much still my business model for $5 a month, and I average about. I think I'm right now. I'm at like 96 or 97 members.
That's a
So
lot for your size
wow,
channel. Like, how many
yeah,
subscribers do you have to your channel?
I just went over 3,000.
And wow, that is impressive.
that is a
Yeah.
lot.
And but I also tell them, I say cancel anytime. I please
Yeah,
binge my stuff,
right.
cancel, come back in 2 or 3 months when I have new content. So I don't really do what sold videos for everybody.
Mhm.
Because I consider my what sold videos bolos.
Mhm.
And so I can't go over every, 150 cards that sold through the week. So I'll pick out like cards that are $20 over, and I'll have it on
Right.
the screen. I was like, okay, this is what it is. This is why I bought it. I think it was maybe a
Mm.
quarter. If I remember, I'll tell them, where I got it, if I got it at a postcard show, if it came in an auction lot, or I cherry picked it at an antique mall. I've got a lot of my cherry pick cards at antique malls. And I was like, okay, this is why I bought it. This is the research behind it. I listed it at, whatever, $25, or like that one that sold for 610. I went through, the reason I went at auction, the comp. I did comp that card when it started getting bids, and the highest comp of that, a close card, was only ever, 170 some dollars over the last 15 years. I use Worth Point. Its prices aren't always the best, but at least can
Yeah,
tell you that there's a market for it.
you get an
Right. It's
idea.
sold before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I used to carry a bolo list. I had a 2-page, towns that I kept an eye out for, topics I kept an eye out for, and I gave it to my members. But it's probably a 10-year-old form now. I don't carry it with me anymore because it's now kind of up here. But I'll go through that list, and I was like, are my bolos still bolos? And I'll pick a topic, Route 66 is Route 66. And I'll go through talking about Route 66, cards that recently sold. Maybe the best Route 66 postcards are the ones that show gas stations or something. And I'll just talk about it. Hong Kong, Hong Kong used to be a great seller. It's really, as they say, the market has softened.
So you have a lot of, you have like so much knowledge and so much information you share, but it only works for someone that really wants it, because the amount of knowledge you have,
Yeah.
it's like a freaking fire hose, and like somebody like has to really want it to put in the work to get it from you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
basically you have like you can teach them like a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but a lot of the knowledge you have is just experience too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. And sometimes I just know. See, I've always had this, even when before I sold postcard. I was into glassware and pottery. I sold clothes, and I hate selling that stuff. Taking all the pictures. Now I can throw a stack of 40 postcards in my scanner, and perfect photos front and back in a minute. When you're
Right.
So it's
selling,
one of those auto things.
yeah,
That
it's a
feeds
top
it in.
loading. Yeah, I recommend the Epson, either the ES400 or there's a 510.
I
Those are
think.
the
Do you watch Rev Resell at all?
once in a while. Yeah.
Because he showed a scanner recently. He was doing it with ball cards, and I wonder if it might not be the same one.
There's a different,
Probably.
because these ones, the rollers can mess up a ball card. I mean, if you're doing like, cheap postcard or cheap ball cards, no issue. But the rollers will put a very faint line down a card, so it would get nailed in grading.
Now he did run. I only watched him do it once, but it seemed like he had them in penny sleeves. Would that eliminate the issue?
The scanner I have, the penny sleeves would kind of get crinkled. There are there are carrier sheets you can use. I use them if
Okay.
there's like a card that has glitter or mica, it was called. It would scratch the hell out of your lens, your photo
Okay.
lenses on there. So those type
Do,
of cards I put in a carrier sheet.
are there? I already know the answer to this, but I'll ask it anyways because I don't really know. So is anybody grading postcards? Is that a thing?
I've seen sports. Sports
Yeah.
is where if you get a real photo with Babe Ruth, it's a team photo with Babe Ruth. Or one of those big names, yeah, you want that graded. You want to grade it for authenticity, and if who knows, maybe there's signatures on it or something like that. Yeah, you get those graded. In fact, I think I just saw
Who does
there.
that?
You can get. I think it's PSA. You can do that through.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think I've seen one for. It might have been like the Red Baron von Richthofen or whatever. I think that was his name. It was a postcard of him. It might have been signed, and someone wanted to send in to authenticate the signature. But
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to send a regular postcard in.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's big in the sports world. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah.
Have you ever bought and sold graded cards before? Postcards?
No, never had any. And as I collect hockey cards, I love hockey. So I think I have somewhere over here. I might have a Sidney Crosby graded rookie card, but it's graded, and I'm like, no, I want to touch the card. I want to act, and you're holding a piece of plastic, and to me, it's just that doesn't make sense. I mean, I understand it for value. Yes, I understand that, but for like comic books, the thing about comic books were made to be read.
Yeah, you're never going to be able to open it. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I understand it. I understand for money purposes. Yes. And I think that's another, reason that, postcards are number 3 collectible in the world, because you can actually touch it.
Yep.
And, again, there's billions of these. There's no one definitive guide to postcard. You can pick up a Beckett, and you can, every ball card that has ever been produced, the number of it, who it is. I don't even know. There's probably no ball card that no one knows existed. Maybe.
Are there price guides for postcards, or they don't even try, do they? Or do they?
There are, and I have some. I'm trying to think. I was actually looking for it before the show. Mary, they can find it in my YouTube links down below, my description. There's a link to, it's like the Postcard Collector's Guide. It was put out just a couple years ago by Mary L. Martin. She is probably the undisputed world leader in the postcard world. She runs online auctions. She pretty much runs not most of the show, but a lot of the big shows. She's written books. She has millions and millions of postcards in her shop. I've got to know her over the years. I interviewed her for my channel. I just fascinating, just someone who's that into postcards. I almost bought. She has a warehouse full of, I think it's 7 million postcards.
Oh.
I almost bought it.
Why wouldn't you? You can what not that stuff?
Well, these cards were newer. They're Continental Chromes mostly. A Continental Chrome, like, it's 4x6 size. A standard size postcard is 3.5 by 5.5, usually right on. A Continental Chrome is 4x6. So
okay,
these are mostly from like the 70s to 80s, 90s. Modern. You can probably go to a Disney right now and buy a Continental postcard.
So they're lower value stuff.
Yeah, but I had a way to market them. I was going to lean toward those post-crossing people, because they go to postcard shows to buy the blank ones. So I was going to do like a subscription box, like if you have dogs, like a bark box or a beauty box or something. I was going to do
a Popeye box,
postcard club of the month type of thing. So every month I pick out 50 cards of, maybe they're puppies, maybe they're flowers, whatever. And then also set up a website that you could go to. I think I had it as Postcard. It was too long. It's like maybe it was postcrossingpostcards.com, and I never did anything with it. But people could go and I want this puppy for 50 cents. I want this flower for 50 cents, and then just fill your cart. I have 1,000 of each. So, but you need an employee for that,
Right?
And you need the space. I could probably fit 7 million cards in the house, but
once your wife moved out, you might have a little more room.
Yeah. They love, my family loves, they don't want anything to do with the postcards, but man, they love those trips to Disney. They love that.
Right.
Yeah. I want to go to an out-of-state school. Okay, postcards are going to pay for that. But so yeah, I didn't fall through with that. I have all these. It goes back to the ADHD. Like when you guys interviewed ADHD Dave, I was like, okay,
yeah,
I wish he has it all harnessed. He has it all harnessed to do everything he does, and I'm like, man, I wish I could. I take meds, and I can harness some of it, but
you're doing a lot, though. I mean,
yeah, I could do so much more, though. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but you're only one man. I mean, and Dave is the same way. He has a few things he really excels at, and he probably has a pile of ideas that nobody even knows about, that he never executed on, that we don't know about.
Yeah,
so
I always called myself an idea man before I knew why I had all the ideas, just no follow through. And
yeah, but what about the $147,000 a year on Whatnot? And has that grown since then, or is that I'm not asking how much you made. I don't.
My numbers are. I'm free with I'm free with all my numbers.
Okay, how's it gone since then on Whatnot?
Well, it's gotten lower. I think that second year was like I was down to maybe 80.
Okay.
And then I took like then it went down to 60 because I was doing all this on Whatnot. So I don't know, out of 100% of my day, 100% used to be eBay, and then it went 80% Whatnot and 20% eBay.
You backed off a little,
and I'm back now. I'm probably, because I'm down to like one show a month now. But
so it's by choice.
It's by choice. Oh yeah, by choice. Because if I'm doing,
you could have kept on growing it.
I could have, but running out of stock, and I like to be known as the person who sells bulk. I would sell them by the box, or I called it the tub club. I would sell, hey, there's a card stay that fits the plastic boxes too. So, but yeah, anyway,
that could be useful for a lot more than useful for a lot more than postcards.
Yeah,
good.
But I haven't followed through with it. But I would sell them by the tub. I would fill these up and I would sell them by the tub. I started transitioning to fill a flat rate box on Whatnot. So I have medium flat rate boxes, and I try to flip through all the cards, and I put 12 to 1,500 postcards in a flat rate box. And those are fun days when I'm taking 200 pounds of postcards to the post office.
So let's say that you wanted, let's say tomorrow you wake up and you're like, you know what, I'm going to go full time into this 3D printing arm. I want to liquidate every postcard that I own. How long do you think it would take you to do that on Whatnot? Could you do it?
Yeah. I was going to say in about 5 minutes with a gallon of gasoline and a match.
Right.
But on Whatnot, I've done 6-hour shows on Whatnot before.
And how much do you think that, if you had to estimate, how much do you think that would generate in revenue?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a $3,000 show in 6 hours.
I'm talking like if you were to liquidate like everything you have. If you had to guess, obviously, it wouldn't be exact, but
it's probably making your skin crawl thinking about liquidating some like all of your curated better stuff.
No. Well, yeah, that, but I have done on to answer the question, probably 60 to 100,000, maybe.
Yep.
But I don't want to flood. I could easily, I'm flood the market.
Right.
But the cherry pick stuff, I have grabbed the boxes from the cherry picked, and I'm like, I sell those sometimes I say, like, I had a whole box of these real photo postcards. I was like, okay, I'm doing 3 at a time. And some of those 3-card lots would be like $40. So that's usually like the lowest I will go is like a 3 cards or something, but they have to be special cards. But sometimes
do those do well? Like, do you run those a lot and they don't get bids, or do they usually get bids?
I don't think I have. I think I have done 309 shows. I have sold, I think it's over 11,000 lots on Whatnot. And my average lot price is like 27 to 28 bucks per lot. And 327,000 in 4
Yeah,
years.
okay, I got there, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, I've done those. I do like stacks of maybe a quarter. I've sold them like quarter of the pound. You know.
So what about eBay Live? Has eBay contacted you or invited you, or
no,
are they doing that, like Postcard?
not yet. I imagine they'll end up doing it. I mean, because Whatnot was started off with Funko Pops, sports cards, and I can't remember what the other one was. Maybe comics. And then they didn't have a postcard category. They had maybe an estate sale type of category. And I think it was because of me and maybe another 1 or 2 dealers that came along that they made an ephemera category.
Okay. Yep.
So, but yeah, Whatnot's been great. It's just, again, I'm on for 2-3 hours. That's a lot of when
it's
you're
exhausting, isn't it?
It is.
Yep.
When you're just talking to yourself. I mean, it's awesome as someone in the chat is. If you got an active chat, and I have my mods are the people I'm in this little group with, and we just talk postcards. So every once in a while they'll bring up something, or someone will bring up a question or something like that. So
it's not just selling with Whatnot. It's a performance as well. It really is.
And I hate packing. And really, that's when I sold glassware and pottery. I hated the packing. Now, postcards, when I sell a pound, it is relatively easy.
Right.
So that 2-hour and 20-minute show, I had 60. I sold 60. Well, they said sold 60. I had 10 giveaways. So I actually sold 50 lots, 50 pounds. Some are just single 1-pounders, and I have to put them in a box, put them in a bubble sleeve, a box, and then I'll put them in like an envelope. But some of those ones that, if they bought, I think one guy bought 12 lots, and they were like $400 or something like that. Bubble sleeve, and then like a large flat rate. So it took me, I don't know, an hour and a half maybe to pack all that. But it's just the packing. Postcards, it's just, postcards, you grab them and you slip them in, and boom, I'm done.
Right.
So it's just so much easier.
John, that's a lot of money though for the. I mean,
I know
this is like one of the bigger first world problems I've heard of.
I know.
I sold so much, thousands of dollars yesterday. I got to pack it. Oh no.
I should put that on a YouTube or on a YouTube thumbnail. I sold too much, and people would like, I want to click on it, and then they see me, and I'm just sitting here because I don't have to go anywhere. This is my eBay stock. This is my active, and so I'm just sitting here.
How big does that room extend to the side there? I don't. I can't really tell the scale.
I don't know. Let me see. I don't know which way we're going. So there's another line of shelving units behind this one.
Okay.
I don't know if I can, almost maybe down through there, you can kind of see some. Yeah. So yeah, another 12 feet over that way. No, I don't know.
And how many cards are we looking at on those aisles there?
400,000.
Okay.
Wow.
Because I got two units back here, then here, another one, and another one. I think that was like 6. Is that right? And then another 5. And each unit can hold. This is about 70 some odd thousand cards right here with all my multiple quantities and stuff like that. So
Man, you
it,
are making me want to
insane.
sell postcards.
yeah, because one of my
I
dreams
got
would be,
some right here.
yeah, I'll buy them for a nickel each.
No, I don't want to sell them to you. I want to sell them to people for like $600.
Yeah,
Like $15.
Yeah, but see, this is where I'm getting, when I said the disclaimer in the front, people hear me
Right.
my numbers and then they're like, oh, I
Right.
can do it. It took me, I started transitioning to postcards in like the fall of 98. I didn't go like full blown into them because I found a stack in a box and I'm like, holy crap, these all sold back when there were no pictures type of thing. Or
Yep.
no, I had to take, this is how I had to do it. I
You
had
had
to
to
take
use a server or something, right? Somebody
Yeah,
else's.
yeah. I had to take a picture, go get that film developed, come back to
Yep.
my brother who
Wow.
had a flatbed scanner, which was like, wow, a flatbed scanner. He would
Mhm.
scan them onto a 3x5 floppy disk, and then I would upload
Yep.
them. And then I got a digital camera, and they were expensive back in the
Oh yeah.
90s.
It was minimum $500 to get into
Yeah.
one, and that was going to be like a lower end model too.
Yeah, it
That's
had like
crazy.
like 5 megabits is what it held, or something.
Yeah.
Megabytes. But that's the way, that's the way I did it. And then I started going to antique malls and picking there, and I just slowly got into it. And I still sell the occasional, like if I go to Disney, I'll go to one of their tiki bars and I'll buy their drinks in the souvenir mugs.
Oh,
You
yeah.
And you come back, you sell the souvenir mug, and that pays
Yeah.
for all your food and drink. So I still do that.
Oh, yeah. I did that one time, John. I did. It's some kind of like, it looked like a barrel or something.
Okay.
Cup for like the Bears or something.
Okay. Yeah.
The Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I bought like, on our way out, I bought like, I don't know, 2 dozen of them. And they give me this big clear bag, and I'm walking out of the park with the bag over my shoulder full. And I sold every one of them. So yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. And you can buy postcards at Disney and pretty much do the same thing. So, but I could go in to, it's not that I choose not to sell all that stuff. I could go into Goodwill, and I know I could go in with 20 and come out with $100 worth of stuff. I'm good at it. I am, but I'm better at postcards, and I like the benefits. They don't break. My return, I don't have a return rate. There's no returns. And then the ROI is incredible.
It's
like
almost
I buy
infinite.
I buy it for a quarter. Like that, I'll just use a quarter in that $610 card. That's like 280 some %,000% ROI. My average sell through, or my average price I get is like $13 a card, something like that.
No, that's pretty good.
I want to go back to what you said earlier, though, because you said earlier you have 40 something thousand listings on eBay, and you have days where you might ship 2 cards.
Yeah, it happens.
Isn't that what you said?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So what is the average day like?
It's probably 15 cards, 20 cards, something like that. Saturday I did 294. I don't know how many exact cards that was. Sunday I did 110, and today I'm only at $45. Let me see what that $45 is. 6 cards so far. That's not good, but it's not bad. I did, it only cost me, there's 6 cards only cost me less than $1. So, but you have those days, eBay has been like, oof. You said it in one of your recent videos is, it's a roller coaster, and we can literally sell like $150 one day and $1,200 the next, followed by another $200 day, followed by $800. We never know. Yeah. My best day over the last 30 was 1,034. That's when the 610 card sold. And my worst day, I can't even click on it. It's so small on the graph. 1643, and it was probably a couple. But my airplane cards that I have a million of, I usually get $3 for those. So it could have been 5 airplane cards. So
I love how you said like, oh, I have 1 million of those, which is just like a common expression that people say, but
Right.
you actually have 1 million.
yeah, yeah. I probably have. Yeah, I'm still probably around 1.4, 1.3, 1.4 million in the house, and
Wow.
I'm scheduled, like I said, to pick up 51,000. I just bought the 40 some thousand a couple weeks ago. I'm scheduled to pick up another 51, and then I'm going to go to the Allentown Paper Show, and I hope to buy probably another 20 to 30,000 there.
Amazing.
Well, John, we've been going for almost about an hour and 40 minutes now, and we have got to cut this off somewhere.
Yeah,
Which I hate to do, but
I did want to ask him one more question.
yeah.
Before we
okay, yeah.
And if you want to hear my dead milkman story, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I want to hear that. I want to hear Ryan's question, and then if there also, I wanted to give you a chance to, if there's anything else you want to promote or talk about, I want to give you a shot here too. But we do need to wrap. And also, before we get into all those things, all those items you guys have, I definitely want to have you back on for round 2 for sure.
Yeah, if
this
you want
has
to
been
whatever,
mind blowing for me. This has been awesome, dude.
Appreciate it.
Okay,
I appreciate it. You guys are like, I was gonna say at the beginning, you have Dom, you have ADHD, Dave, you had John, and you have the Commonwealth, and Pete. Geez, Pete. And then there's me. I'm like, I'm John. I sell postcards. It's just like I
there's
got
a little more to it than that, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the more mind blowing episodes I've experienced.
Absolutely,
so far.
I'm blown away.
I still have a little bit of an imposter syndrome. Yeah, it's just an issue with me, but
no,
yeah. But anyway,
okay, well, Ryan. First of all, your question.
I wanted to ask you because you mentioned something earlier about how, like, for example, Hong Kong used to be like really hot and it kind of like died off. What right now, if you had to pick one thing, is hot in the postcard world that's selling like crazy?
They're selling, but maybe not crazy money. But I think they're coming into their own. Is these continental cards, because postcards have been around since the 1890s is when postcards were like really officially postcards. I had all that written out if you ever want to get into like postcard errors and stuff like that, but there's stuff back then, it's the old timey stuff that no one knows about. Back 30-40 years ago, there's this series of postcards called the Sunbonnet Girls, and it's these these girls days of the week, and they had sunbonnets, like Sundays going to church day, Mondays wash day. Those used to be big. You can't give them away now. Some of the old time artists that used to be, there's an artist called Harrison Fisher. His cards used to be $100 plus. His cards are $10 now. So what I'm seeing, and no one remembers that. I'm 58, the oldest person in the room, and even the old time, the 70-year-olds, they go back. They were born in what, the 50s. So they probably don't really care too much unless this is in their niche that they want to, their topic niche. They may not care about 1900 Paris. So it's the young ones today.
What they're nostalgic for.
Yeah, like this one. This is As Told by Ginger. It was a Nickelodeon show.
Okay.
I don't in the 2000s something. I don't know how many seasons or so, but I got these in a big lot. They're and rack cards, advertising rack cards, from the early 2000s, maybe late 90s. So maybe you grew up with As Told by Ginger. And what I come to find out, because I was selling a decent amount of them, I'm only getting maybe $5 for them, but I'm selling a decent amount of them. And what I found out was they took this off of streaming. You can't find As Told by Ginger. So was that the millennials, Gen Zs, or whoever, they want to know, and they only put maybe one season on CD or on disc or VHS or whatever.
Elevate the nostalgia. Because
so people, people, I think postcards in general, people are buying history, buying something that they resonate with. So maybe As Told by Ginger, it might be, I had a couple other ones, this is an American Express, but they put a little disc on it.
Oh, wow.
And
CD-ROM or whatever.
CD-ROM. And I had another one. I don't know what I did with it, but it was, advertise. Like here, it's just like advertising. Reese's peanut. Maybe that one
That's
would
cool.
sell. Maybe that's a magnet stuck to a postcard.
Oh, that's
And
an
maybe,
idea for
yeah,
merch. That's a merch idea. You could send out postcards
yeah,
with
maybe
magnets on them.
a little 3D print with a magnet. But maybe with there was the Reese's peanut butter, not using real peanut butter or real chocolate anymore. So maybe that would sell. So I think it's those 1950s cards, and I had one here. Where is it? It's like a guy at a gas station. Now I don't know what I did with it. But it's like that big cars with the bright chrome. The 1950s cars. Yeah, I don't know what I did with it now, but I did pull this one out. Like I said, everything that's been around, thought about. It's a turkey.
Oh wow!
With a cigarette and wearing sunglasses. So it's just weird stuff. I mean, I don't care what the pig can love who it wants to love. But
I'm not judging you, pig.
It's a happy pig. But people put anything and everything on postcards. So those are both Continental newer cards from the 80s, 90s.
So maybe the old ones, like if you're going after the really big hit, the really big score, it's probably going to be an old one. But if you want to move volume, you might have to go a little newer sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's just really people were buying back something they thought about, So I think that's what's coming in, the Continental ones. And I have 25 boxes I haven't sorted through yet out in a garage that were part of that big deal. So I have to go through those, and I've sold those type of cards for over $100 before.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
I want to hear your Dead Milkman story.
So this
and what is the first Dead Milkman song? I remember when I was in high school, I think I was a sophomore in high school, and a buddy had a jam box. It was right just before class, and they played Bitchin' Camaro. And that's the first time I ever heard Bitchin' Camaro. And I was like, I was hooked.
I like Punk Rock Girl.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
And there's one called Watching Scotty Die.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And then there's one I can't, it's taking
I know the special needs to the zoo.
The zoo. So I love the Dead Milkman. I got onto them when I was in the Navy. There was a guy who had a cassette, and I was like, oh my God, and I like the Dead Kennedys. There's one called the Circle Jerks or something like that. But anyway, I like that kind of weird music.
Right.
And so I got out of the Navy in college, and the Dead Milkmen were playing in Pittsburgh, and I went to a school near Pittsburgh. And one of the fraternity brothers, there's a couple of us went down. Fraternity brother's name was Bitchin'. That was his nickname. Nickname, Bitchin', Timmy Bitchin'. And he's like, man, the Dead Milkmen are playing at, I don't know, like the 930 Club or something like that in Pittsburgh. He's like, let's go. We don't have tickets. It's a sold out show. Let's just go to Pittsburgh. So we go to the venue, and there are girls hanging out by a door with just like bras. There's no top, just bras, or maybe they were bikini top. But, we were like, well, let's go stand by the girls, the good looking girls that don't have any clothes on. So we're just over there standing and talking to them. About 2 minutes later, the back door opens up, and he's like, do you guys want to come in and meet the Dead Milkmen?
What?
And I was like, so we just pile in with the girls. Okay. And so we're in the dressing room with the Dead Milkmen. I can't remember all the,
what?
We're in the their backstage green room. The girls, I don't know, disappear, but it's just me, my buddy Tim Bitchin', and I can't remember the other guy's name. We're just talking to the band. They're signing like our shoes and coffee cups, and we're just talking, just hanging out. And I think the guitarist came. He was all bitchy, and he came out, was yelling something, and went back to his own little dressing room. But anyway, they're getting ready to go on, and we're like, "Do you think you could get us into the show?" And they're like, no, we don't think you can do. But there's a back stairway that leads up to like the balcony, and you can try that. So we're like, okay. Then they get ready to go out, and we go walking up the stairway, and because they said there's going to be a bouncer at the top of the stairs, and
the band is telling you this.
The band is telling us, like, just go up those steps. There's going to be bouncers. They're going to kick you out. And we go up. It was Bitchin', and me, and then the other guy. And Tim opens the door, and there's a big ass bouncer standing there. And he goes, Bitchin'. He knew him.
What? He knew him.
They were like
What?
they were high school buddies. They were like lifelong friends.
What?
No way.
And they're like, he's like, come on in. So I got to, not only meet Dead Milkman, hang out and talk to him, get some stuff signed by him.
Do you still have the stuff?
I think I have a T-shirt. It was when they did the take on the Led Zeppelin Zozo or something like that. They had so I think I have a sign somewhere in my memory box. I have a Dead Milkman's signed shirt.
It's crazy that your buddy's name was Bitchin', and that's like one of their big songs is Bitchin' Camaro, right?
Yeah. So it was great. We snuck in for free. He's like, the bouncer was like, just don't leave the facility because you can't get back in because you don't have a ticket. So we just hung out on the balcony, and it was just, I don't know.
What a crazy coincidence, huh?
But yeah, it was like, you couldn't have planned it any better. But that was just
when it all started by hanging out with the hot chicks, though. Right?
Yeah. But it was just, you couldn't have planned to be open and bitching.
Sounds like a plot of like a movie or something.
It does. It does.
Yeah. So
that's really cool. That's really cool. Man, that is so cool. As a matter of fact, we may even use that as a short on this channel, or maybe we'll clip it out and make a little standalone story. That's okay.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely want to have you back, John, because I feel like there's 100 more stories you could tell that would be awesome.
Probably. Yeah, we didn't even talk about being a probation officer, the Navy.
Yeah.
No, but we really didn't even talk too much about Postcard. I mean, we talked around Postcards and what but yeah, there's so much. I have sample. I have props per se, just to show you just some of the really cool stuff that's out there. But yeah,
if you can hold it for, is there anything you want to promote or anything, John? You're on YouTube. What else? Yeah. You're on Whatnot. What else are you doing? And eBay.
Whatnot, eBay. I tried. I'm just not good at reels, so I'm kind of on Instagram. I hate, like I said, I don't like social media, and I feel cringy. I drink when I go out postcard to go find postcards. I do this thing, postcard road tripping and postcard picking. And I always drink Dunkin's because I love Dunkin's. Yeah. And people like the cringy when I started doing road tripping and postcard picking. They love this cringy stuff. And I did, once a little bit in the beginning of a video is fine. And I wanted like, hey, Dunkin', I'm still waiting for the sponsorship. So I had this bright idea to put all those into one reel, one video, and tag Dunkin', and I am so cringe. It just, but anyway,
is that why you made the "I'm sorry" video? Because I went and looked at your. I was like, I looked at your. I was looking at your channel real quick right before we went on, and I was like, Ryan, there's an "I'm sorry" video. I don't know what it's about.
Yeah. It's because I put out that cringe. Oh, it's okay. It's bad.
So you're just embarrassed. You're just embarrassed. Oh,
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about.
It's all right, man.
Cringe. But I had the first YouTube channel. I'm sorry. I know you're need to go, and this is a problem I have when I'm always interviewed. They're like, okay, give me the red light, but that first YouTube channel, I had it for 1.5 years, and my wife didn't know. I was doing videos. And she didn't know. And I think I had an interview. Something was coming up, and I was like, "Yeah, I just want to. I have a YouTube channel. I've had it for 1.5 years. I have 100 and some videos. So because it's embarrassing for me. But anyway, yeah, the YouTube channel, Popeye's Postcards. That's me across all platforms, and my profile is a bank.
Oh, that's your guy. That's your profile picture. Yeah.
Even though I was worried for a while that Popeye was not in the public domain, and that's when I disappeared. People thought that Popeye's King Features came after me, or the chicken people came after me because Popeye's chicken.
Or hell, ColecoVision had them for a while.
Yeah,
or Nintendo, right? Nintendo had a Popeye game.
Yeah,
I think it was Nintendo, and then or Taito or something like that. One of the video games.
TAIT, something like that. So yeah, YouTube. I was on TikTok for a little bit. I called myself the Postcard Prophet, as in play on prophet and like wise man prophet, right. where I would show the postcard and I would read the message on the back and about,
Oh, that's
you know,
interesting.
how times have changed. And I got cringy with that and I stopped that. You know, I bought a little background, a little fountain pen, quilled feathers, and a glow. You know, I made it look kind of pretty, a little gas lamp, and it just wasn't me. It's just reels and stuff like that. But I mean, if you want to like listen to me talk about postcards, you know, YouTube every morning, I try to do a half hour, you know, 15 to half hour show. And then I do have that membership, $4.99, cancel all anytime you want. I'll teach you more than you want to know about postcards, and you know what to look for if you go to postcard shows, or, you know, you're at a flea market, or even like your lot that you sold for $39.99. One of those parts of my guide, when I get to, if you don't want to sell postcards and you want to get rid of them, this is how you do it. And that
would be my section for now. You never know what could happen, but yeah, that would be me, because I still want to flip stuff that if it has value, if I can make turn a profit on it.
Yeah. I mean, you get 24 pictures now. So their first picture will be your stack of postcards, maybe a couple laid out, and then each photo you can fit 25 postcards or so.
Let me show you what I like doing. I did this today.
I'm trying to get Verve numbers here. That's what I'm stalling you guys. I want to be Verve.
Oh no, we're not doing Verve again. No, look, I have this thing that I put on sometimes.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'll put my phone on it.
Oh, look at that.
And then, like, if I have a lot of something,
I'll
just talk handy. And flip through, and then boom, I've got my photos and the video on here.
Okay.
And then I just like airdrop it to the computer. I drag the whole thing into the listing, and boom, please look at photos and video, and then they can watch the video and get a quick just rundown, you know?
Yeah.
It works pretty well.
I do something like that for my Whatnot shows. Like I said, you can go watch the live section of my channel. You don't see my face. You just see my pretty hands, you know, sexy hands.
So you never show your face on Whatnot?
No, all just my hands. So now I have to keep my nails kind of trimmed and the dirt from under them.
I feel like I would be more likely to try Whatnot like that. Cause honestly, like that's one of the reasons I haven't, is because I'm almost scared of not of being on camera. Obviously, I don't care about that. I'm scared of what if I fail? What if I fail? And I don't care about that myself. I just don't want to fail publicly. You understand what I'm saying? But if I could do a Whatnot like kind of anonymously and just to try it out, I might be more comfortable with that.
Yeah. You could do that. You had that one video when you were like, you had your voice altered and you were putting stuff on a plane and flying. I don't know, it was like a drug.
Oh man,
you could do a voice modulation.
Oh,
a deep cut.
That's a deep cut.
Well, I had my embarrassing stuff. I was like, well, we all have at least one, right?
I'm actually proud. You know what? I'm actually proud of that one.
That was a lot of effort.
It is cringe. I didn't execute it well. I didn't, because I didn't do it with good footage.
Mailed to me. That was the title of the video. I remember it because I wrote it.
And Ryan wrote the title for that one. And then I put it in the VCR, right? And I'm gonna do that, John. I'm gonna do that again. And honestly, I think the idea was good. I think the execution was poor, and I think the audience hated it.
Yep.
And but I'm gonna try that again, because that's the kind of stuff. I'm a quirky dude. I'm a weirdo, and I do mainstream stuff, and I do what people want. But sometimes I want to get creative and do some stupid stuff too, man.
We were so excited about that video before it dropped. We were like,
I was like, I'm gonna drop it, Ryan. I'm gonna drop it.
So much fun with it. And then everybody's like, thumbs down, thumbs down.
Ryan, this is the worst video I've ever put up on my channel, man. This is supposed to be awesome. What happened?
I think that's all of mine. I hate editing, because I just run it, and whatever comes out of my mouth. Sometimes I pause the video when I shouldn't, or I unpause it when I shouldn't. So I will go back and it might be 5 minutes of me just going, whatever. And I go back and cut that out, but I know we're hitting 2 hours.
I'm going to do part 2 of that video this time, but I'm going to do it right this time, and it's going to work. Damn it.
Do it with
when you guys see it. When you guys see it, just remember Popeye gave him the idea.
blame me. No, it'll be great.
No. I don't care. I don't care if it's commercially viable or not. I just want to do it again for myself.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I can see
Make
that.
content you like making. That's all that
Yeah,
matters.
because I've done so many of the same vlog day after day. You understand how that is. You do the same thing. It's fun to do something different and creative sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
At least people watch your stuff, but no one watches mine. I always wonder. I'm gonna keep talking. I should shut up. I always wonder what would have happened if I wouldn't have nuked that first channel. If I would have gone to like those eBay lives in Vegas. If I would have gone to like the reseller,
I wonder those kind of things too. I have those kind of things myself.
Yeah.
That I think about, that I have regrets about, or I wonder what if. But John, I mean, look how successful you've been.
Yeah.
Look what you have accomplished. You have a product that you had to do a 3D print farm for. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. Like, for me to hear you beat yourself up over something like that, given what you have done and what you have executed on, it's just really something.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Again, imposter syndrome, but working through
That's good. You keep yourself honest that way, right?
Yeah, I do. I'm one of the I had to be honest with my job, but that's a story for another day.
Okay.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it. And I will. I want to say I'll link you want me just to link your YouTube channel? I'll link whatever you want down below in the description.
Because I don't think anybody who's gonna be buying these card stays that
if
resellers.
They want to, then they can come see you and check out more. They'll find out more from your YouTube channel. No problem.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
I know you were getting ready to go, but I also came up with these sort tabs that fit on top.
Oh,
I know. And I have different box sizes too, but this is
ADHD Dave and
these are called sort tabs, and I have 20 different colors that maybe you want to all your ships in your postcard box, or you want to be under purple, but I don't have them listed on Etsy because I just haven't done it, because I just haven't.
Well, there's only 24 hours.
I know. I need 28.
Then that won't be enough. You know that.
No, it won't be.
But John, thank you so much for coming on. This has been I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be this mind blowing. So I really appreciate your time.
Postcards. Yeah, I understand that. Postcards. But I understand. But thank you. I'll stop talking because
No, but thank you for coming on. We really do appreciate it. This was a fun conversation, and guys, go sub to Popeye's Postcards. Link below.
Go. Let's see. Popeye the Sailor Man. What is the song, John? Sometimes there's different versions.
I'm stronger to finish because I eat my spinach on Popeye the Sailor Man. I used to be able to do his voice in college. That's how I tried to pick up girls in the bar. I could do Popeye's voice. I can't do it anymore.
Can you do the laugh?
Isn't
that his laugh?
Yeah, I can't. It was a
try
in the air.
Something like that. That's good.
It used to be better. Oh, now I'm embarrassed. Oh, very good.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
You guys.
Thanks for watching. Thank you, John. We'll see you.